Okay, well, we've got some new diver decoys to get all rigged up. If you guys didn't see the past video, I did like a little unboxing and showed you guys all these new diver decoys from Final Approach. But today we're going to talk about rigging up decoys for deep water hunts or for diver hunting. So let's go ahead and sit down here. I got all the materials ready, and I will leave some links to some materials that I recommend down in the description to get you guys started on your way with hunting divers or hunting deep reservoirs for puddle ducks. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, you're gonna need 2 3-pound anchors is what I recommend. You can go heavier if you need to, but most of the applications that I'm using this for, 2 3-pound anchors holds the decoys in place perfectly. So what I did was I used these grapple anchors, wrapped them in duct tape so they don't come unfolded and get snagged on brush piles and rocks and crap. So they're basically just a dead weight in the bottom of the front and the back of the main line of the decoys, and I just used regular carabiners to clip them on. So what I do in the boat is I keep all of these in a 5-gallon bucket, and as I'm deploying these rigs, hook it on, toss it out, strip, 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 get to the end, clip the other one on, stretch it, drop it. So let's talk about the main line. This is a really important piece to this whole rig. You want a sinking main line. There's a few options out there available. You can go to a hardware store, find some sinking line, or you can buy line that's actually made for doing diver rigs like this. So I believe this one's like 125, 150 feet long. I tied a loop on the end, so then I can clip the weight onto it. And then I gave myself enough room to really drop these down deep, because some of these places I'm hunting divers, like points and stuff, they got big drop-offs on them. So you want to have a lot of leeway to where your rigs are always touching the bottom. And then I went and tied a loop for every decoy that we're going to be using. So in between loops, you know, that one's about that long. You can kind of do it however you want, but I did generally about 6 feet between each decoy. And what I did was I actually made a video doing this whole process, but I stretched it out along the whole length of my backyard and then measured it out and tied knots, and that's what I did. The other thing that you're gonna need other than a main line is some drops. If you're not hunting with a dog, you don't really have to be super careful about these. You can just make your own out of string. But I hunt with a dog, and so I need 32 to 36 inch long drops, and it's got a clip on one end for the decoys, and then it's got a crab clip to clip onto the main line. So I was talking about those loops that I tied in it. What I do is I take the crab clip and clip it into that loop, and that decoy is not going to slide up or down that line. So that decoy is going to stay exactly where I want it. That's the materials that you're going to need, and decoys. So today we're rigging up the new FA decoys, and I got a few of my golden eyes back there that are going to go onto this line. So let's go ahead and show you guys how I like to do this. When I'm doing diver decoys, I like 12 slot bags with no cover on it. So what I do is I take my tail and I put it in one end. So I'm going to wrap this main line down one side, over, and then back to the other side, so my tag ends are both on the same end. So I'm going to just slide this into that slot until I get to my first loop for my decoy. The reason why I like to run my diver decoys like this is because it's really fast and easy to get all of them out and into the water. If you stuff them like I'm doing here, all you have to do is basically get the boat kind of coasting a little bit. You can have somebody driving the boat, and what you're gonna do is just toss the decoy, toss the decoy, toss the decoy over the side of the boat, and nothing's gonna get tangled. Tangles are a big pain when you're dealing with this stuff. So I've got my first drop here, and what I'm gonna do is just hook it into the decoy. And then I put the crab clip in first, along with the decoy behind it. And then I take the rope and I start stuffing it into the next one. There's a short gap in between these two. So I'm up to my next knot now. I'm gonna put the crab clip on, grab my next decoy, I honestly don't know if it really matters what decoys go where, other than like your whistling ducks, like your goldeneye and buffalo heads and whatnot. I think those decoys need to stay kind of together. So same thing that we did last time, crab clip, and then decoy with the drop, and then we keep pulling the rope into the next slot. So now that I've reached the end, I'm gonna just go ahead and dump it over into this other side here. We're getting close. I only got 2 more really to rig up. I got 4 goldeneye going on this line. So there's that one. I'll throw a redhead on there. And then we'll keep doing the same thing down the other side. Okay, now when we get to the last slot, we're gonna just go ahead and keep doing what we've been doing, get to the loop, toss that on there, but then what I like to do is take the rest of the slack and then put that in. Oh, I tied another loop because I was short. You can always, so I found out last year, like if you're hunting like a point and your decoys are kind of in like 4 foot of water, you don't need this much rope. So what I do is I just go ahead and tie another loop into the line, and then boom, hook my anchor to that, and we're good to go. So that's a little trick for you guys if you're running this kind of rope long line setup. And we'll just keep on stuffing this all the way in. And this is the tag end where our other anchor is going to attach. And boom, our decoy is in there. So that is how I like to rig up my divers. So if I'm going hunting and I'm in the boat, I'm gonna grab this first one, find the end with the loop for the anchor, drop that off, and then I'm gonna just proceed to drop the decoys off the side of the boat as the boat's moving and pulling the slack to where I'm just dropping them out one at a time, and that main line is just hopping from each slot to each slot, going all the way around, and you should be pretty much no tangles, no hang-ups or anything. It should go pretty smooth for you guys. And you can do it by yourself. It's a little tricky, but you can do it. So that's a video. This is a video that you guys have been requesting for a while. And I figured this was the perfect opportunity to do it since I had to put these new FA diver decoys on here. So I guess if you guys found this video helpful, let me know down in the comments, and let me know down in the comments also how you like to rig up your diver decoys or your deep water setups. Works for puddle ducks, works for geese, works for pretty much any decoy out there. It's just a great solution to hunting deep water, which is always a challenge in and of itself. So if you guys enjoyed it, leave me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.